All right, hello. Welcome to Equity Vortex. Today we're going to be talking about the month of April 2026. We're going to be looking at my trades, and at the end, we're going to see how I did on the month. It was a red month, so it wasn't great. It's mostly for me. Nobody will probably watch this, but that's okay. So we'll start it off. I started a little bit late in the month because I took some days off, market holiday, and I was sick at the beginning at the end of March, beginning of April. So I didn't take my first trade until April 9th. It was MU. Started off great, popped up in the morning, and I jumped in for a curl back up towards VWAP and the EMA reclaim and instantly met with a flush. Stopped out at almost $4 a share. So that one was a little bit disappointing. Then I took a couple days off, 10th and the 13th, since the first trade was a loss. And then I jumped into AMD on the 11th. This was a tough one. AMD was a leading gainer at the open, and it's just been grinding the past week. That past week, now it's up $100 a share or more since then. But I got in and I was holding for a curl back up, instantly failed. Stop loss. Took full size, feeling overconfident. And then naturally it went up. You can see it's kind of up right here. It was up. It came back up later in the day, of course. Down $233 on that one. Not great. I traded Tesla twice here. So I was up $1.50 on the day here on this day. 11 cents a share, 4 cents a share, just kind of scalping it as it went up. So this was an okay day, but being up $1.50 didn't really help much. That next day, that was, the trend you can see on Tesla. It went up. This is where I'm kind of understanding that I need to just hold it when these leading gainers are kind of grinding. This day, AMD again, just kind of scalping it as it went up. I was down $15 on this day. Kind of just buying and selling with VWAP reclaim as it's bouncing off the EMAs. It was kind of over trading it. I should have just been adding as it went up. But it is what it is. There's a little zoomed in on that front. So this is the overall picture. This is, a little zoomed in on those first couple trades and then those last couple trades there. I did trade AMD here on the 17th as well. I was down $14 on this day. It's a bad trade for AMD, down $1.34. Kind of getting in high and holding for the bounce on EMAs, and it didn't, and kind of just sold off that day. I did trade Tesla twice though here. A couple scalps. One was good, one was bad. That second one kind of just went sideways. Shouldn't have traded that one. You can kind of see the overall where I traded it there. I did trade Apple on the 20th. I got a good, dollar per share? No, just kidding. 10 cents a share. So I was up $1 on that day. So it's up $1. On the 21st, I traded Microsoft twice. Up $2.31 that day. Kind of just scalping it. Again, not buying and holding, which, over the month here, I'm learning that might be my niche. Did trade AMD again here on the 22nd. Quick scalp again, kind of just scalping it. Didn't get much out of that. I traded Microsoft for a quick scalp there too. And I traded MU for a quick scalp. So I was up $7 that day on the 22nd, kind of whatever. Quick scalps on these three, not much to say for it. Then there I am again, over trading AMD, down $9.50 overall. 6 trades, kind of ridiculous. Again, I should have just been adding on the way up, and I was just nervous to hold and kept getting cooked. Had one bad trade here that put me down on this day on the 23rd. Then what am I doing on the 24th? I'm scalping it again, over trading it again. 5 trades, down $27 on it this day. And in between these 2 days, it jumped up, $40 a share. Yikes. On the 27th, bad trade. Down $1.87 a share here on Google. And then I did an MU trade as it was going sideways, hoping for the break of VWAP, down $38 between these two stocks, Google and MU, on the 27th. And came back on the 28th, took a couple more trades. Microsoft down, entered on EMA, bounce, took a loss after the break of it, for it to come back up, kind of go sideways and go down. PLTR, here I am with 2 shares again. I lowered my share count eventually halfway through the month to 2 shares. PLTR, I entered on strength and exited for an EMA loss. Again, down, just kept going down. And then lastly on that day, Tesla, another loss. Took loss in the shifted trend. Today, that day wasn't the day to test the new theory of holding, of course, when I finally started to decide to do that. And then on the 30th, yesterday was the 30th. Today's the 1st of May that I'm doing this video. I took a quick scalp here. 5 shares, bumped it up to 5 shares, and got a quick scalp for $3.80. So wasn't that great of a month. There's the P&L on the month. It was a rough month. My biggest drawdown, hitting all-time lows multiple times during the month. Most red days in a month here that we're seeing. So tough losses. Struggling to adjust, large cap strategy versus small cap. Seeing similar indicators. Some of my entries are definitely questionable. Entering below EMAs or VWAP against my strategy. So on the other side, selling my winners too quickly, thinking they'll just turn into losers. Large caps consolidate, and if it's strong, it kind of goes up. But tons of large cap stocks hitting all-time highs in April and continuing into May. AMD, Amazon, MU, SanDisk, many more hitting all-time highs. NVDA hit, Google hit. So it's tough losses, but what are we gonna do at Equity Vortex? We do the best we can.